downtown for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday here at Hall Around Town Radio. We are live from the Hall Around Town Radio studios in beautiful downtown Springboro, Ohio. Hopefully you're all doing okay. If you're out there, say hey and check in with us today. Our good buddy Karis, who you all come on this show on Tuesdays to see, is taking a little break for a few minutes. She's en route somewhere out of state, and when she gets there, she'll be on with us. But until then, I have a lovely co-host to join me today, and that co-host is Miss Kathy Laverde. How are you, Kathy?
I'm good, Scott. How are you?
I am great. Thanks for joining me today and filling in for the remarkable, always entertaining, and downright mean Karis, as I call her.
Right. I told you I can't be as controversial as her, but I'll do what I can till she gets here.
No, you're always the sweetheart, and that's good. I'm glad to have somebody nice on here with me today. But I love Karis, but we have some fun with this show, and we've been having a blast with it. The topics have been great. And let me say hi to a few people as they're checking in. Butch Snyder, hello. Billy Sutherland from White Knuckle Weekend, thank you for joining us today. Hey, James, how are you? Hi, Bill. Thank you for being here. He says, here we go. See, they're all ready for the bell to ring. It's like a 10-round fight today. Hi, Stephanie Rumke. Hi, Toy from Rockstar. How are you? The Pontoons in the house.
Hey, I love them.
Saying hi to Kathy. They're saying, giving you a shout out. Kara, thank you for being here. Ray Renee in the house has joined us. And oh my goodness, guess what? She made it early. So we're all three going to do this fun thing.
Oh,
there
she
is.
is.
Hi.
Oh, no, I'm going to sit back and listen.
No, you're not. You're in on this one. Well,
no,
guys,
this is for you two. I'm just going to sit back and hope their compliments start pouring in.
There are so many people rolling in already on the show. They want to see this thing. And Kathy, thank you for filling in. Karis wasn't sure if she was even going to be here at all. So we're gonna focus on some things today about venues, and we're going to talk about what gives you a good vibe, basically, how to improve an atmosphere in a venue, even before music ever starts, any of that. What gives you a good vibe about a venue? And one of the reasons I asked Kathy to come on is because I don't want to make her sound like she's been on tour her whole life, but she's been around the world and been to a lot of venues and a lot of clubs. Hello, Ray Renee, and been there. And Kathy, what's one of the first things when you walk into a place that you know is going to make it for you or not make it for you or break it?
I think the ambiance, just when you walk in, and it's both a combination of the lighting and the staff. If they're happy, there's a natural chemistry there that just makes everything warm.
Hi, Kevin Cooper. Thank you for being here. Also, yeah, that's interesting because I'm kind of the same way, and I can tell in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Now, I want to do a disclaimer before we get started today, and we get a lot of people commenting. We're not here to point out names or to name venues, but we're going to ask you things that turn you on and turn you off about venues. But please don't mention any names. Let's not embarrass anybody or make anybody look bad. We're not here to be a bunch of Karens on the keyboard. So let's make it good and enjoy it today. And first and foremost, we do have to say our hearts in Cincinnati certainly go out to the Bills program and their player and all that after last night's tragedy there on the field. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that today on the show. That was just horrific to watch. And we're hoping and pulling for him that he makes a full recovery from this thing and is able to enjoy himself again playing football and all those things out there. So let me roll through. There's a whole lot of people checking in, guys. I'll try to get to your comments. Glenn on the YouTube channel, thank you. Marie, Kara says staff, absolutely. We're going to be asking you Mickey Evans just said stripper poles is what really turns him on there. Thank you, Mickey. We appreciate that so much. I hope Brandy knocks a knot on your head for that one, but all right. So, Kathy, what's the difference locally here? And we all focus a lot on the Bell and the Bear. We go there a lot. We love the venue. But what's the difference in the local venues? And you've been to a lot of them here. And when you were spending time in LA and out there and, some of those bigger, well-known places.
I've always said, since I've started going out here over the last 10 years, and I want to name names when I'm giving a shout out because we've got some great clubs here. I love our clubs here better. I love our music scene here better. I don't think it compares. I think we've heard that, especially recently, over and over by other guests that we've had coming in from out of town. We have something unique and special here in our music community and within our venues. Naughty Pine was one of the first clubs that I went to when I started going out to see bands, and just a great vibe there. Great people that work there. The venue was open back then, and Blue Note, Lori, Doug Gundren, Perry, all of them. It's just, there's a love of music with all these people. And when you walk in, that's the foundation, and everything else is kind of built around that. And their staff's happy. And I find that the staff is a lot happier here than some of the clubs I used to go to in other places.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been to some clubs in Vegas that you would think that they're in the customer service business there like none other. And you walk in and the staff was like, you're inconveniencing them asking even for a drink. And that's a turnoff. I mean, the minute that happens to me, I don't really want to be in that venue anymore. I mean, you give everybody the benefit of the doubt of having a bad day once in a while. I mean, or something's broken behind the bar or something, things go wrong. I get that. But if you go in routinely to a place and you get greeted with non-happiness, you're not going to go back. You're going to go find somewhere where you feel good. A whole lot goes back to that TV show Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And that's the way I feel when I walk into the Bell and some other locations locally here around us. I mean, everybody knows who you are. And if they don't know who you are, Karis puts a sign up on your table to make sure they know you're a loser. So it's a wonderful thing. Love you, honey. Hey, and thanks for joining us today, Karis. I know you're on the road and out there doing all kinds of fun stuff. So thanks for being here. I do want to ask you a question before Kathy and I go on with some things. And let me preface this, guys, with if you're watching this show today and you're looking for some sort of magic ball to shake up and figure out what the bar business is about, there is none. And if you like bars with fluorescent lighting, elevator music, and wet rag smells, don't watch this, because this is not what it's about. It's about what draws people to a place long before the musician ever hits that first note is what we're looking for. And also what turns you off about a place. And we'll ask that a little bit later in the show. So Karis, when you opened your place, you've got the most unique look. The speakers up at the stage, your signature B&B, which is up there, which is in every photograph, which is one of the most genius marketing schemes I've ever seen in my life, because everybody that posts to social media knows where that picture came from. And then the albums on the ceiling. What made you do that? Because that adds ambiance to the place a lot.
Well, it goes all the way down, like the whole middle strip, the albums, and it leads all the way to the stage. So it's the music, it's the journey that takes you to the final destination, which is the stage, and then the show starts. And you can literally walk the entire, even on the stage, you'll see it. You can walk the whole line and see all the albums. Focal points is really key in bars. To me, when I walk into a bar and it's just white walls with maybe a picture here and there, it doesn't really get me entertained, or, if there's nothing really going on. Whereas I find in bars where they give you something to do, people are more, they'll stick around a little bit longer. And since our vibe is music, I'm going to give them music at every corner that they can have, they could see. Sorry, wording. Yeah. I'm tired.
We're going to touch on that too, about music when the band's not playing, and that, because a silent bar is a boring bar, I think. And you have to have some sort of music playing or something happening in there besides just somebody sitting there at the bar drowning their sorrows in their day or whatever.
Hi, Liz.
You have to make it good. Shane DeMoss, that's a great comment. Says fantastic service will overshadow most shortcomings in a venue. And that's true, because people will still go to places that may be considered, as they say, a dive bar or whatever. It's not the glamorous look and all that, but people like it because it's home to them. And we want to emphasize that today. And Kevin Cooper recalls Tim Barnhurst finding one focal point on the ceiling. Yes, he has. Tim's and I can I say boobs on here? I guess I can. I don't know. But
I can say boobs.
That's what he likes to look at, and on the ceiling on a couple of those album covers. So, Kathy, real quick, let's chat about. Do you like a dark bar or do you like a well lit place? What's your favorite?
So for me personally, I like a dimmer lit bar, but and again, I'll use Belle just because it's one of my favorite. Obviously, it's one of my favorites. I like exactly how she has it. I think it's lit perfectly. I like the albums. I like talking about focal points. I love showing people that haven't been there before the mural of Bear on that other wall in the other room. I love showing people that front room where it says imagine all the people, and you've actually got the vinyl hung up in there. And it's like there's so many cool things to look at. She's done a great job of picking out specific things for each area and it just all has a music vibe to it, or I just
Something
think
different.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and it is. You can tell when you walk in that bar, it's a music bar. You can. And there's other bars you walk in, you can tell immediately it's a sports bar. And, if they've got 500 televisions around, you can't look one direction without seeing a TV, then you know pretty much what you're getting into. And if you add food on top of that, food is a whole nother show. But today we're wanting to talk about what turns you on and makes you want to stay in a bar before the musicians ever start, and what turns you off. And I'd like to hear that if I can from everybody. Throw some comments in there. We would love to hear from you. There are so many factors that go in, I think, into a night spot. And, is it a social media worthy decor? And I just mentioned Karis's B&B up there. Mr. Burroughs, they have the giant OSU stadium on one wall as a mural where all the musicians play. So anytime somebody takes a photo, they know that's at Mr. Burroughs.
Which was the reason I wanted to go there.
Because of the mural? Because you want? Well, yeah,
and
it's interesting,
I wanted to
isn't
see
it?
you and then the mural.
And you didn't see me.
Right. I was so sad that we left.
Yes. Love you though. Look, this is our day for hugs. Can I give you a hug through there we go. Right there we are. See, I got messages all week last week about, do you guys really hate each other that bad?
Oh my gosh, guys.
I think Karis one.
Can I interrupt and just say, guys, if you honestly think Scott and I do not like each other, you are mad. Scott and I love each other, and that's why we can do this together.
Can I tell you too that I enjoy the way you say Scott?
Scott.
So you're coming off a huge weekend, and we mentioned it on Monday's show at the Bell and the Bear. No one had the guts to call and tell me about it, but it had to be really cool. Is that the term? For Lita Ford to come into a bar of that size and play like she did in that intimate a setting. And I'm sure she's done those before, but her band looked like they had a blast being that close to the people and enjoying the interaction. At least the videos I saw, it looked fantastic.
They actually really did. And a couple of them actually made a point of coming up to me personally and being like, whoever, it's just full of compliments. They're like, this was one of our most favorite shows in a venue like this. Everything was just, like, you guys outdid yourselves. They loved it to the point where they were like, we want to come back.
Well, your production team was amazing as well that night.
Oh,
and,
phenomenal.
Those boys
really
are
good.
top.
Everybody
top
worked really well together. It was really good.
Thank you, Ray, for that. About a simple smile from Brian. That goes a long way. It does. I will say that as well.
And there was Brian. Brian, he was part of that. I mean, he was incredible. The lighting was amazing. Thank you, B.
And Brian Middendorf, is he on here? Yes. How you doing,
That's
Brian?
what I'm talking about.
Jill Drew says reasonable prices for drinks, selection of drinks and seating, plus friendliness of staff. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the focus. Everybody's probably going to say, especially from the customer aspect. For musicians, feel a little different. Is it got a good music vibe? Does it have good sound? Is there good lighting? All those things in the room. But I think for the customer who comes in, the first thing they want to do is not be turned off, and they want to be able to go to the restroom and not have it smell like a gas station on Route 66. that's not been cleaned for 17 years. And if you can get by with that, most people give you free pass for anything else that happens because they figure there's some people out there who are going to spill stuff and do stuff, and you're going to get to it as fast as you can. But sometimes on a busy night, it's tough. Your staff, Karis, is amazing. I always said they've got ESP and they just show up when something hits the floor. It's like somebody's cleaning it before anybody even tells you. So that's kind of an amazing thing. And sticky floors drive Matt Matheny crazy. Oh, yes. And there's a particular place I've gone for years and oh my God, the floor. I mean, you lose your soles of your shoes in there. I love the place. I love the people, but it can be a little bit disturbing. So I'm trying to get to comments here, guys, and take this down a path.
Thanks, TJ.
What TJ said and seem. Okay, I got it. Dave Worthington, the audio's bad. I'm walking out. This is 2023. Wow. That's pretty firm. But
Also a little unfair, but okay.
Well, and you have to remember too, I mean, when there's not a band, what are you eating? Are you eating something?
No, of course
Got
not.
you, Paris.
Hold on. Can we zoom? What is that?
It's like a caramel thing.
Oh, yeah. Public speaking 101. Don't eat caramels while you talk.
Well, I'm hungry.
It's
I just got
okay.
done working.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Dave, I don't know if I'd walk out if the audio is bad. I've done some shows where the audio was horrible. It wasn't always the musician's fault. It wasn't always the venue's fault. So, there's things that go into play there. And yeah, the setup you did with Miss Jackie, I was floored by too when I saw the pictures of that. I never imagined that's what you were going to do with that. That was really cool.
Well,
It was
and
like the side stage.
it's tough. It was tough because they didn't really want an opening band because you're not really allowed to move. Once you set it up for a national act, you're not allowed to touch or move anything.
Right.
And so it was either I put Miss Jackie in front of the stage or I figured something out altogether. So I was like, you know what? Completely different system. We'll make it almost a completely different thing and just put Miss Jackie at the other end of the bar, other side. So that way all people have to do is just turn around.
That was amazing.
And then it wasn't,
was
they
cool.
didn't even use the same sound system. They didn't use anything that was the same. And I thought it looked great. At first we put a stage there and I didn't like it. I thought it was a little overbearing. It was just too much because the room really is small. And by putting her down on the floor, I just thought it was really intimate and everybody really got into it. I thought it was great.
It's so funny here. I was looking at some notes I made about this
I
show
love you,
today.
Miss Jackie.
White walls are out. You said you don't like going to a place with white walls and just a couple pictures. White
There's
walls
no
are out now.
story to tell. There's no story,
Right. And what's in right now in the 2023 era, supposedly, and all the nightclub and bar folks that are consultants and all that say it's got to be funky colors and, colors that jump out at you and things like that. What do you think about that? I mean, you like a funky bar that looks, might have Velvet Elvis on the wall and those kind of things? Karis, you've got some crazy stuff on your walls.
I don't care what you do. Just tell me a story. I just don't want it to be like boring. I don't know. I don't know what to say because I don't want to insult anybody.
Well, we did preface this before you came on. We're not naming names, and nobody out there better be naming names because we will delete that comment. We're not here to trash any of the venues because they work hard, and some of them work harder than others, and struggle seriously sometimes to make ends meet. So I'm not here to dog anybody out. I'm saying, what are ways that you, as a person watching the show today, would what would bring you back? What kind of ambiance or what kind of vibe in a bar would bring you back? And that's what we're looking for. And then if something turns you off, tell us that too. What would turn you off? Because there's people watching that may take note on some of this. I saw somebody mention earlier, and please, again, no names, but talking about a local stage, nothing on the back of it. I've said numerous times I'd put my logo back there. I mean, that's where all the bands play. You want that logo and that commercial advertising. You can't buy that kind of ad on TV or radio. I mean, it's every time somebody Instas or Facebooks or videos, it's great advertising for your venue. Don't you agree, ladies?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll say the one thing for me is the only reason I typically will go to a bar is because I'm going to see a band. So I don't typically go to bars to watch sports or anything like that. So if I'm going to go see a band, the one thing I can't stand is if they've got TVs behind the band or up on the sides of the band, and they keep them on while they're playing, and it's so bright in there, and people are conflicted between watching the game and watching the band. For me, it's a horrible ambiance. For me personally, if you're going to show a sporting event, by all means do it. But if you're going to have a band, let's have the band.
And so many bands I know, and I know, Karis, you had a huge event, but New Year's Eve, and thank you, Kyla. She's right on the same page as you are, Kathy, with that comment. New Year's Eve, a lot of bands got delayed. And, you know, when you're playing New Year's Eve somewhere and they hire you to play, I guess, you know, some bands can look at it like it all pays the same, man. But when you don't start until midnight after a losing football game of your local team here in the state that everybody is near and dear to your heart, that just like threw a wet blanket on everybody there for that. The bands that didn't start till late. And I felt bad for some of them saying, oh, yeah, they delayed our start till the game was over. That was midnight. We were watching the last kick of that game when the ball dropped. And I thought, how do you wait till midnight to play, especially after COVID? And now that everybody goes home early, you know, nobody's starting at midnight anymore, man. That was just crazy. That's my soapbox on that one. But let's get back to what we're talking about. What turns you on and turns you off? Somebody said, I hate that so many refuse to turn the TVs off. I agree. And, you know, what's funny is the musician who's up there thinks people are locked in on them and they're really watching the game above their head and those kind of things and not paying a bit of attention. And Jamie Combs says, get out of his head, Kathy. Yep, TV's behind her neck. That drives me nuts. It does. And I'm with you on that one. Jackie, Miss Jackie in the house. TV and eyesight. He's like my middle daughter, or my youngest daughter, who used to play soccer, and I used to accuse her of she knew every tail number on the plane as it went over. She wasn't paying attention to the game. She was looking at the sky and anything else. Chase got ADD or something going on there.
I love Chase.
He's awesome. And what's Rick and Trina got to say? Any venue that has band starts music 8 or sooner. He says, I'm old, need to go to bed. Thank you. So people out there, what turns you off? If you go into a place, what would make you never want to come back to a bar or venue? That we're not talking music now. We're just talking basically about the ambiance of the venue or the vibe in the venue. What would make you not want to come back? I've heard smells. I've seen that. Smells are one thing. And, you know, sometimes too, your owners, and Karis, you'll say, sometimes that's beyond your control at times. It happens like in the middle of an evening, a drain plugs up, things happen, things get stinky. Somebody goes in the bathroom and leaves a award winner or something like that, which is out of your control. But for the most part, cleanliness is cleanliness. You know, if you're in a clean bar, and it doesn't have to look brand new to be clean. I mean, to not be clean. I mean, some people go into places, oh, this is an old place. It's got to be stinky. No, it doesn't. And a lot of people clean after themselves and do a nice job. Go ahead, Kat.
I'll tell you one thing that that I had happen several times at a bar that I would go to, and this wasn't about the staff being rude at all because they weren't, but several of them would just gather around and just start bad-mouthing who they worked for, all the problems that were going on there. They were clearly miserable working there. They were only there because they had to be. And as soon as I would come in, they'd start telling me all the latest, everything that was wrong with the place. And it just doesn't, it's like, you know, I felt bad and whatever, but it just didn't motivate me to want to stay and party. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and amen to that. And the other thing is new equipment. You know, you take a bartender that's set in their ways, they've worked that bar for years, throw a new POS system at them or something like that. And there's times they can get a little overwhelmed and out of their element. And man, don't tell the customers about it. Don't tell the customers this new stuff sucks and all. It just puts a downer on the night.
Did that happened at the Bell because we got a new POS.
Did it?
I don't know. Did it?
No, not to me. They didn't.
I'm not touching that one, honey. That's your place. But
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything. If this is your way of telling me,
it's not.
Oh God, no.
It's just shut up. Oh, she'll be headhunting somebody in a minute. No, not at all. And you know, but it is. You can go in places and see that, or you know, the guy programs it differently, and he comes in with a better idea, and the POS guy or whatever, he comes in, and the computer guy, and changes it. That drives people nuts too. So I think the first thing I enjoy when I walk into a place is friendliness. And friendliness, cleanliness, and then the look and the vibe of it. Is it comfortable to me to sit there all night and enjoy a night of music or whatever we're doing? Does it have something else to do if I get bored? That's the other thing. Can I go play Jenga on the patio? Or, I hate to say that, sounds a little cheesy, but it's the truth. Is there something else to do if you're not happy? Is it something going to keep the people there? What keeps people in your place, Karis?
I think everything that you said. I think my staff, the staff that's there, is a huge part of it. It's also a very welcoming bar. Like you can go in there with a group, by yourself, man, woman, and you will feel at home. I think that there's always something to do no matter what area of the bar you're in. It's very reasonable drink prices. I think and personally speaking, it's like everybody knows your name, and it's just welcoming no matter what. And I don't know. I think it's the greatest place ever. So I don't know.
Another thing, and it's
clean. We get that cleaned and scrubbed every single day.
I'm never going to dog on the Bell because I love the Bell 100%. And another thing that drives me nuts at some other venues, and who picks the music? Now, the customers play touch tunes. I get it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times we're playing music before somebody hits the touch tunes. There's a device hooked to it, and somebody's got a playlist running. I've been in a lot of places like that. And you go into a place at happy hour, 5:30 in the evening, a bunch of people that are in their 50s that just got off work, and there's gangster rap playing all over the thing at 110 decibels because that's what the bartender likes. And man, is it a turnoff to the customers. And, I hate to say that, but it ain't about you. You're there to make money. If they stay, you make money. Mm-hmm. So, what's worth more to you? And I hate to say that, but, Tear in Your Beer Country or whatever you're playing, that's your favorite song that may not be great to keep your audience there. And so often the bartender has the control of that because they're the ones there working and doing their thing. So how do you combat that, Karis? You have a playlist? You have anything that is off limits?
We have an iPod that plays all different styles of music. So that's what we have. And then if people want to play the jukebox, they can. Unfortunately, if somebody's playing something super heavy, that's a big turnoff, or super hardcore rap, we usually skip it.
Right. On the jukebox.
It's also very hard to please. You can have a room full of 150 people, and 30 of them like country, 30 of them hate country, 30 of them like rap, 30 of them hate rap. I mean, you're never going to please them all. Somebody made a comment here, the turnoff, understaffed places that have a huge line for drinks and stressed out bartenders. Okay. We know, trust me, the bartenders don't like being understaffed either. Neither does the venue. But sometimes shit happens, and especially in this day and age, people are getting sick. Like it, we can't help it. And it's sometimes you've got to be a little bit understanding because it's not done on purpose to make anybody's life an inconvenience. It just so happened that specific night or something. So.
Right. Go ahead, Kathy.
If you go to a place a few times and Blue Note's got a great staff too, Bell's got a great staff, and it's happened at Naughty Pine, and you kind of develop a relationship with some of these people, either as a musician or as a patron, and it's a good place, and that they're good people. And to Karis's point, stuff happens, whether it's a new POS system or whether it just happens to be an unexpectedly crowded night that was understaffed or somebody called in sick.
Last Thursday was our unexpected one. Yeah.
And then it's like, you mean I have to wait an extra 10 minutes to get a drink? Like, really, who cares? Is that the biggest thing in my life I have to worry about? I don't want them being worried about if they got a drink to me fast enough. Not at all.
Right. I've got to get to Monique's comment here real quick. Bad view of the stage. I've got to give props to our friends from Froggies in Monroe because they realized they had that problem in a live music venue. And during the COVID, they dug into their pockets when they weren't making any money and remodeled that bar, moved the bar back, opened the entire room to see the stage. Smart move. I mean, a hugely smart move on their part. And they're smart like that. I mean, they know how to make that room work. And they realize that, nobody wants to sit without a view of the band when the band's playing and at least not be able to see it a little bit. And so there, thank you for that, Monique. That was a good trigger for that one. And Jamie Combs, what's he saying here? Yeah. Watching videos on their phones full blast.
That's
yeah,
just
when you're
my
playing.
pet peeve in any place. Nobody wants to hear what you're listening to on your phone. Just put some fucking earphones in. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
Put your earphones in. Nobody wants to hear what you're I don't want to hear your conversation, and I don't care about the video you're playing. You're in public. My bad. It's a word. If you're going to be offended by the word, I'm sorry.
I'm not offended by it. It's the computer at the Book of Face that'll be offended by it. Potty mouth. All right. So thank you for that, Jamie. Yeah, and somebody said too loud also. That's another one. Even the jukebox can be too loud sometimes to even hold a conversation.
That's tough. I mean, that's a tough one. Like I can't stand it when it's too loud, but I also know that what I find too loud is not what the person next to me finds too loud. So that's really tough. Now I have dealt with bands that it was just obnoxiously loud because there wasn't anybody in the bar. So there's no reason for that. So the sound just doesn't carry well. Like it doesn't have anywhere to go, but here, but that's a tough one too. It's hard to avoid sometimes.
Monique said pissy staff. I agree. And if I get bad service and somebody that's cranky and nasty, it reflects in the way I tip them. And I tip well when I'm in a place. And it's one of those things that if they don't, then the tip of the day will be no tip. And, then they just hate you for it. And the next time you're in, they're even meaner to you, but that's the way it works sometimes. Kyla, thank you for that. Silence is deadly. It is most times. There are people who like to go in little dark, seedy places and sit in the corner when it's quiet. That's, or there are bars out there who cater to that where somebody's going to work on their laptop and have a beer and those kind of things. Whatever turns you on. But I agree. I don't like silence either. I haven't been able to scroll through all these comments. There's a ton of them out there. But this is a great topic, and we've got a few more minutes left. And one of the what are you drinking, Kathy? Anything good?
Water.
You're really nosy about what's going in our mouths today.
Oh, again, people.
Water and
karma and caramel. Karma. All right, a couple more things real quick to hit on here. What the bartenders say, we've already hit on that pretty much. We had a couple other things. Bar promotions that work or make a successful venue as well. If you go in to a place, your Monday night, for instance, with game night, people have a blast at that.
So much fun.
When they come in on Wednesday, when I do Name That Tune, those people that are there have a great time.
Oh,
They come back for that. And that's not tooting my own horn, because there's a lot of guys doing trivia and a lot of guys doing things.
Yours is so different. Yours is so different. It just blows everything I've seen out of, like, yours is so good. I mean, you know, can I tell you what Sean said to me? Sean said, listen, I don't know what he's getting paid throughout the rest of the year, but you better top that. I stopped myself from swearing. You better top that because I want him the rest of the year. I was like, I can't. But I mean, they love you. I mean, what you do is just sensational. It's different.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we try. And I mean, that's why we do that. And even regular trivia night, I have a lot of fun with my, as I say, trivia family. I don't call them customers. They're cool people. So bar gimmicks and bar promotions that work are great things. Queen of Hearts drawing, it draws people into a lot of venues. I mean, damn, Mr. Burroughs went to 250,000 last year. It was insane. I mean, the amount of people that came and it carried over into Mondays and Tuesdays because they were buying tickets on those nights. So it really became a crazy phenomenon. Now, I know they're going to cap it this time. They're not going to let it get that high. It hasn't hit yet, but they've already told me they're not going to let it go that high because they can't manage that kind of event, especially in the wintertime when there's no outdoor patio or parking lot they can do their thing in. What else we get here? I see you looking at comments. I'm missing some of them, I'm sure. Anything?
I'm liking all the comments.
What's Heath Bowling got to say? I didn't see his. Yeah, when people play videos or music. Yeah. And the other thing.
Heath.
I have heard some of the best singers, Heath, up there pouring their guts out, doing a solo show and playing an original or whatever that means the world to them and all this. They intro it well and then have this group of can I say woo girls over in the corner
Woo!
who are just
So,
totally out of touch with what's happening in that room and on the
so
stage.
let me ask a question though about that. What happens though at a moment like that where those woo girls or those people are at the bar? They're not there for live music. They didn't know there was going to be live music, right? So they're there for a different reason. And this is not me saying this because I agree or disagree. But what is the right thing to do? Because and then the live music starts and they're already in their woo woo, mood. Do they just stop it or do they go to a different bar? Because you're going to lose them, right? As customers. So it's a weird thing where I don't like it either. When somebody's playing, an acoustic show, I want everybody to shut up. But unfortunately, not everybody's there to see the acoustic show.
Right. What's
Were you listening?
Oh, I'm looking at comments here, Jamie. No, not everybody's there to see it. I get that. But when you come into a place, you would hope if it's a music venue, you can respect that artist who's worked hard up on that stage to perform for you and give, now if the artist is cutting up like Bob Cushing and he's doing the phone song and all those things.
I don't think that makes you an asshole, Heath. I like that. Sorry.
The crowd to laugh. That's a good thing. And yes. There's that sassy girl from Montgomery again. He said, "There's so much guys to talk about on this. We were running out of time today, but
I like Kyla's last comment.
Where is it? Let me see. Take him out back and beat him. Well, yeah. But we have the same problem, and I've had to restrain Mrs. Hall around town from actually getting into a fist fight at a concert because you're there and they're playing their signature song and it's sweet and everybody wants to hear the words and all this and it's one of those moments where you'll never see them again. We go to a lot of bucket list concerts of people that aren't going to be around the next 10 years, and there's this couple behind you who is just yapping and yapping. It happened at Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That, as loud as that is and as big as that is, this couple, it must have been their first date because all they did from start to finish is talk about where they were going to go eat later and what are we going to do later. And oh my God. And it was like, why did you pay a ticket to this show? I want to throat punch you. Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
And I'm the aggressive one. Okay.
Oh, you have no idea. So what else? What else, Kathy? Come on, throw me a bone here at the end, Kathy.
Dewey said something that was a little bit something we haven't touched on is that how much he appreciates when bars take care of people that do ultimately get out of hand, and it's not anything you have to tolerate throughout the evening. And I know Belle obviously does a great job at that. Every now and then you just have people that get out of hand, and when it's not tolerated, you feel safer being there.
Mm-hmm. We don't tolerate it.
Thanks, Heath. Yeah, it is what it is. But bar vibe is important as music is. I think we talk a lot about music on this show. We've beat a lot of music topics up, but I thought this was a good one to chat about today. We've had a lot of viewers and a lot of people here chiming in, and we appreciate that. We will look at all your comments. There's just too many too fast for us to get to all of them, and we'll comment on them later and chat with you a little bit off the air. But I want to thank the lovely Miss Kathy Laverde for stepping in when
I love Kathy.
I love Karis.
We didn't think Karis was going to make it today due to other conflicts, and I'm glad you made it, Karis. So we're glad to have you here.
All with Mississippi.
Are you in Mississippi?
I'm in Mississippi.
Can you spell that?
Missippi.
You screwed it up.
There's so many I's and S's and P's and M's and stuff.
And I think Glenn said vibe is very important. It is. I think it's something auto-corrected there. But thank you for that, Glenn. And Kathy, thank you so much. You're a gem in the music community. You're one of the best ambassadors for live local music that I know. And you just sent Danny off on the tour, right? Today?
Gone now. Yep, for 5 months.
5 months.
5 months tour. And where are they going? Are they in the U.S. or are they out of the U.S.?
They're U.S., Australia, South America, Scandinavia, Europe, and Central America.
He's actually the Jeff Tate, which is what Danny plays for, is going to be in Memphis next Tuesday, I think. So we're going to see him then when we
Do a little
while
road
we're here.
tripping. There you go.
Oh, we'll be here.
Good. Memphis. Walking
Well,
in Memphis.
Yeah.
You will be. All right. Danny Laverde, follow him, guys. If you're out there watching today, if you haven't yet, Danny Laverde drums on the Book of Face. And he's touring with Jeff Tate and Mark Hadley, right? Did I get that right?
And Mark Daly. Yep.
Mark Daly. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? Oh, I know Mark Hadley. He's an artist in Florida. I know. But Mark Daly and Mark's an incredible performer, too. We loved his show at the Blue Note before Jeff played. And so follow Danny. And Kathy, I'm glad you got him to the airport safely today and got back here in time to do this from your car.
Yes.
It's great.
Tyler,
Sunset.
Danny Laverde's touring for. He plays drums for Jeff Tate.
Yeah.
Kyla asked that. Okay.
Oh,
Got it.
last.
Kathy is the hottest
She
chick in
is.
music.
Yes, she is.
I
Thank
just
you, Heath.
PayPal'd him some money to say that. So
Did you?
Yeah.
Yep. Venmo Heath Bowling. There you go. All right, Karis, thank you so much, my dear. I love you.
I love
Thanks,
you guys.
Thank you for watching today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Sweet Sister Mercy's here. We've got something incredibly special at 5:00 tomorrow that you're going to want to hear and see that these boys have been working on. And we're going to debut it tomorrow. Sweet Sister Mercy Wednesday with the band tomorrow with us here at All Around Town Radio. That goes off at 5:00. 5:00. Anything else, ladies?
Love you guys.
Love y'all. Bye-bye for now. We're out of
Bye.
here. I think we're out of here.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.